A saint, a folktale, and other stories. I'm none of them, but I have the person who actually written it. Ma'am, it's a pleasure being with you, Miss Rana Safi. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for inviting me, and it's a lovely experience to be here in Jaipur.
So I know that you're also meeting so many people. We are there's a time crunch, but I want to pick your brain on few things. One of them, you being a historian, and very interesting, right? You find monuments, talk about them, write about them, which are not found usually. You travel extensively for that in India. Uh, why do you think that these monuments that you talk about don't get enough attention, which are there and which are part of our great culture and heritage?
You see, we are so used to thinking only in terms of the famous monuments like Taj Mahal, Red Fort, Qutub Minar. We don't realize, or Hampi in South. We don't realize that India is a very ancient civilization. So we have so many monuments, and these monuments are actually very tangible. This thing. Of our history. They are tangible evidence of our history and of our heritage. And for me, heritage is the passion. Whatever heritage, whether it's built heritage, clothes, language, food, whatever it is, customs. I'm trying to preserve them and pass them on to the next generation with as much passion as I can, so that the youngsters pick it up. And that's what I would love it. If like today, I am connecting to young people, that they carry on my work.
So you know what happens is a lot of people who also visit India, they will usually have a Lonely Planet kind of a magazine and some ticks there ki okay, we will go and see these things. But when we talk about your book and your writing a saint, a folktale and other stories, there are hidden monuments. It's not just Taj Mahal as you said. So something that probably we can look at in Jaipur that you know of and probably usually people don't know of. If you can drop some interesting things to do in Jaipur.
Just outside Jaipur is Abhaneri, the Abhaneri stepwell, which I have described in my book, and it's a feat of mathematical precision. It's something that you must see. It's been actually covered in Hollywood and Bollywood films. I think one of the Batman series was shot there. Oh. So that is something I would recommend, that if you've come to Jaipur, you've seen Amer Palace, you've seen the City Palace, you've seen whatever the main city has to offer, step a little out, go and see Abhaneri.
So, these are the kind of things that you'll find also in her writing, which is like amazing information when you are visiting India. She's a celebrated historian. Other question I want to ask you is, ma'am, do you think that history as a subject, as a subject, is it still appealing to the youngsters? Do you think that you see a lot of youngsters showing interest in it?
Actually, if I go by Instagram and social media, yes. And I would suggest that, I would recommend that, as you have in the West, where you have liberal, a few liberal art subjects along with sciences, that should, those who are offering or taking, say, engineering, science or whatever, don't be cut off totally from history, geography or whatever the liberal arts are, literature, poetry. Stay in connect with them. Do it out of your own passion and interest. Do it in your free time. But please stay connected, because unless we ourselves know about our heritage, we know about our our country, our literature, how else is it going to survive?
Absolutely, and you propagate and write and talk about Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb. So for the uninitiated, because there are a lot of youngsters out there, and we are a young nation, right? 65% of our population is below 30 right now, or 35. So what do you have to tell them, like in 2-3 sentences, what it is?
It's our syncretic civilizational legacy. We are an old civilization. We've had people coming into India and settling here, assimilating, taking parts of the Indian culture, giving parts of theirs. And in India, we have over 4,000 communities. And all of them, there's been so much of give and take. So I always give the example why the word Ganga Jamni. The word actually, you can take it as syncretic, you can take it as a civilizational legacy. But Ganga Jamni, because I'm a North Indian, I come from Lucknow, and Lucknow has been the exponent of Ganga Jamni, the Nawabi culture there. It's called the Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb. So just as the Ganga and the Yamuna, they're two separate rivers. The Ganga and the Jamuna, now called Yamuna, they're two separate rivers, but they do have a Sangam. So it's not as if one identity is getting subsumed by the other. They both have their own distinct identity, they both have their own distinct followers, but there's a lot of cultural, what I mean by Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb is cultural interaction between two communities, 4,000 communities, learning from each other, giving to each other, and living happily and harmoniously together.
Yes, because I hail from a city called Bhopal, though I've been working in Delhi. There's a small place there which is very interesting. Not that is has a what you're talking about. It doesn't have an historical, I would say historical importance. But just to give you paint a picture, so there is a road where you have on one side you have a dargah and on the left side you have a mandir. So whenever I go from that road, I kind of understand that what you're talking about, the overlaps that we have amongst our communities, and it's been so peaceful as always. What do you think that is going to be in the future with the society? Because you've seen it all, right? Where is it going? What is your take on that? I know I don't want to make this really controversial,
No,
but
I
what do you
will
think?
just give you the thing that I pray that we live as we've always lived harmoniously, and I always quote कि मेरा पैगाम मोहब्बत है जहाँ तक पहुँचे.
On that beautiful note, this is Jaipur Literature Fest. We are Red FM. The lady, please go read her books. If you don't want to just go for Taj Mahal or whatever, and you want to Instagram those really hidden spots, that's where you will find it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much.
lot.